5,600 yards, 60 touchdowns. This is the best season we've ever seen from a college quarterback. Today we're going to be talking about why Joe Burrow is set up to fail when he enters the NFL. He's going to be faced with adversity, and he's also going to be faced with a lot of struggles that he never had to deal with in college. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Before Joe Burrow entered his senior year, I genuinely thought he was going to just be a very average college quarterback at best. He only threw 16 touchdowns, and he had 5 interceptions. There was a whole month where he didn't throw a single passing touchdown. Now his senior year, his second senior year, 5,600 yards, 60 touchdowns, and only one more interception than last year. Before Joe Burrow came to LSU, he was at Ohio State, and he couldn't beat out JT Barrett, nor could he beat out Dwayne Haskins. Now, for a lot of people, this didn't sit right. How could a guy who had the greatest college football season of all time for a quarterback not beat out two quarterbacks who aren't doing anything right now in the NFL? His senior year, Joe Brady came in. And what do we see? We see Joe Burrow lights out every single game. We've never seen a quarterback have this great of a season before. And the thing is that was so tricky with Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow really didn't show that many red flags. I saw some red flags, but overall, you really saw everything you needed in a college quarterback. For most college athletes, you have classes and all this stuff on top of football. Joe Burrow was a fifth-year senior, and all he had to do was focus on football 24/7. So he was able to master college football, while everyone else was just going to be a regular college athlete. That was a red flag, and the reason I'm saying that is a red flag is because when you go to the NFL, athletes don't have classes and stuff anymore. So how good is Joe Burrow going to be after people are studying him as much as Joe Burrow was studying college athletes when they weren't studying him as much? Another issue I have, I'm genuinely worried how well his elusiveness is going to transfer to the NFL. Because you can be really elusive in college, but you might not be elusive at all really in the NFL. Now that being said, enough about Joe Burrow's college stats. Let's talk about the NFL. He's already going to not the best coaching staff, not the best franchise. That already tells you he's going to struggle just by going to that franchise.
Joe Burrow mastered college football. He had 5 years to prep and figure out how to be the best quarterback in college football. And he did it successfully, no doubt. Joe Burrow is a talented player, but I think as a prospect, he is gaining a little too much hype due to the advantages he had. He's now going to an area in Cincinnati that has never won a Super Bowl. Their owner is the only team in the NFL that does not have an indoor facility, so they got to practice in the snow, in the cold weather in Cincinnati. He's been on record many times saying that he doesn't care if the team wins. He kept a coach, Marvin Lewis, for 16 years without winning a playoff game. He hired Zach Taylor, who has no experience as being a coordinator in this league besides one half season as an interim with the Dolphins. The list goes on and on with things that you don't see from top-tier organizations and owners. The Bengals also have the smallest number of scouts in the entire National Football League. They have a lot smaller scouting department, and they aren't able to reach and get out to as many players and get the best players for their team. I think this will be tough for Joe Burrow to overcome. I always thought, if you have a bad coach, a bad organization, and not that good of a supporting cast, you're going to struggle no matter who you are as a quarterback. I don't like the Bengals organization. I don't like their head coach. Given was only 1 year for Zach Taylor, but I'm still not impressed with that one season and his development through the season. The Bengals did not have that bad of a roster. I think they could have performed better with a different coach. Although the cat is still in the bag, we do not know much about Zach Taylor or his success we will see in the NFL. We have to give that time, no doubt. I'm having doubt the Bengals organization selected the correct coach. With all that being said, Joe Burrow will have some good targets to start off his rookie campaign. He will have A.J. Green, he will have John Ross, he will have T. Higgins, and he will have Joe Mixon in the backfield. That will be very helpful for him as a rookie. But up front, his O-line is not too good, and they did not really address it in the draft. They got Jonah Williams coming back, but he's going to be a rookie because he was hurt all last season. Besides Jonah Williams, they're kind of struggling on the O-line. They drafted 1 or 2 in the draft, but in the later rounds, nothing really to get excited about. I think the most important thing for a rookie quarterback is to have a solid O-line to help with their development so they can learn how to read defenses and have a little bit more time to figure things out. And Joe Burrow will not have that next year. The tough division he's playing in will be also tough. The Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, they all have great great defenses, great defensive lines, and that is going to, hurt Joe Burrow. He's got to play those teams 6 times. That's going to be tough. That's going to be very tough to play those teams 6 times when they got these great defenses. And, Joe Burrow's a rookie, not surrounded with great offensive linemen. It's going to be tough for him this upcoming season. Another concern that Joe Burrow had was his arm strength. He's not a super powerful arm quarterback, and there's no issue with that. There's no problem with that. You don't have to have a big arm to succeed in the NFL, but where it is a little bit of an issue is where he's playing in the AFC North. He's got to play in Cincinnati, he's got to play in Cleveland, he's got to play in Pittsburgh, and he's got to play in Baltimore, and that's a very cold and windy and snowy places to play. It's not going to be easy for Joe Burrow to throw the ball around and succeed in those conditions with the lack of arm strength. No doubt Joe Burrow is a very talented player, and he's got all the tools to succeed in the National Football League. I think the Bengals so far haven't done as well as they should have to surround Joe Burrow with success for his first year. Hopefully in the coming seasons they can address the O-line issues and get Joe Burrow where he needs to be with his progression. And I think Joe Burrow is talented enough to overcome these issues in Cincinnati, but he's definitely going to need a little bit more support from that organization to really achieve the goal of what he is striving for. But time will tell, and I'm wishing the best for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video if you guys did enjoy. Let me know if you guys disagreed with our take on Joe Burrow and if you think Cincinnati is going to be a very beneficial place for Joe Burrow to play. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys soon.